So today we're going to be looking at fitting the gravity strut brace in the back of the ND. So first of all, you've got to take out the carpet. So it's fairly simple. I'm missing a clip here, but there's a clip here that you need to pull out. These little clips, they just pull out from the middle, get your nail around it or a screwdriver, get either side of it and pull it like that. So there's a few of those. Then at this top piece, take out one of the top plastic fixings. You can then bend this forward, and then there's a one under here. Same the other side, take this top one out of the plastic, pull that forward, and then you can get to the other one behind it. Okay, so now you're left with the metal piece in here. That needs to come out to get to this shock tower, and it's also going to need to be modified because the strut brace goes through it. So this is a 10mm. Take out all the nuts. So this is your shock tower. There's a nut there on the stud, and it's the same on this side. So the car needs to be on flat ground. And then you need to take all four of those nuts off. They're 14mm. This is the gravity rear strut brace. So it comes in two sections, nicely made, all painted up and welded nicely. So this part is separate because you wouldn't be able to get it through the fuel lines otherwise. One thing I was a little bit, it's designed for slot, but I don't see really why there should be a massive gap. I think I'm going to put a washer in there to take that slop out. But basically, let's loosely get this end bolted on the shock tower and see how it all lines up. So this piece is the one going this end. So slide it over the two suspension studs, and then you can see it's coming out between these two. Then when you put this bar in, let's see how this goes. So I've got to put the other end in, top of the studs. So it bolts down on these two. So let's get those off. By the way, the strut doesn't come with any instructions. So we'll place that in last. So that slides over like that. That is looking like it's roughly in the right place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to locate it first with these screws here. And what someone's told me before is it's then you can't get the bolt on here for this brace for the shield, so it's got to be modified anyway. So that's in that side. Let's do up the other side because that will be fixed. And then that looks, there's movement that side to sort it all out. So put your 14mm back on over here. Then get the other two nuts. I'm going to loosely just put them down to put a little bit of tightness on it, but not do them up, so I can then play around with how this section fits. I'm going to try and put a washer between the middle strut and the bracket. Emphasis on try. Okay, it's a tight fit, but I like that. I'm just going to get a screwdriver to push the washer in. So I've got a washer squeezed in between the two. So that's a lot better than without the washer, I think. considering it's supposed to be a strut, you're basically just going to have to clamp the two wings up, otherwise I didn't like it. And then before you do this up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp down on the two suspension strut ones. So one of my friends has already fitted this, and he sent me a picture because you need to cut this metal guard or shield, and I basically just guessed at that. So just beyond this crease as it comes up, just offset from that hole slightly. I'm going to cut that out and I'll let you know how it goes. So I've been working on the little shield. I've cut out this section, and then so a little bit, I went a bit further, well much further up high here to get around this bracket, this part of the bracket, and then I also took it closer to this hole as well. So what you have to do, it's a bit fiddly and I've scraped a bit of paint, but tuck that bit in behind, and then yeah, basically, so that's missing everything there. I'm going to bolt up everything there, and I think there may be some carpet I need to trim as well, but we'll have a look at that. Okay, let's see how we get on with fitting the interior. And this is going to be where we have some issues. So yeah, obviously that, can I tuck it? Okay, with some fettling you can get this bottom carpet to sit under this, and then that's in neatly. Obviously normally you'd have your two clips in here. Let's see how the corner ones and back ones fit. So it tucks behind this back panel. Right, so let me show you a second. So it seems to be hitting on that bit there, so that's something to be mindful of. The other side, absolutely fine, doesn't come into contact with it at all, so that's going to go up in its normal position. So now we'll go have a look at that back piece. So you might have a couple of different options at the back. Obviously this bottom part is going straight into this, but you could pin, let's have a look how that would fit. You might be able to pin the original holes back and leave this, if you're happy just to leave it. If you want to cut it, then obviously you could cut it, but you might want to put it back, I don't know, afterwards. So I am going to cut some. I'm going to start, so you could leave it like that, could leave it like that, absolutely not a problem. But this bit that's sticking over here, the bar's right there, sorry, this bit's sticking over here, so the bar's right there. This bit wouldn't normally be seen because that cover comes down to there, so I might just trim this section here just so this bit can sit down. I don't think there's a problem there, so let's give that a little trim. So it's a work in progress. So that's how I've cut that one, just to set this down a bit, and then I've made a slice along here and a slice by that bracket there to tuck that bit of carpet underneath, and then probably going to trim across like that. I can't really think of a way of, could I tuck that as well? Maybe I'll try and tuck that underneath as well. And then we've got this section which is going to be harder to do. I think I'll try and tuck another section here underneath and only cut out bits that are absolutely necessary. So it's turned out pretty well. I was able to tuck most of the parts underneath the strut. So obviously I cut a line up here, cut a line to the back, and then tucked that bit under, fed it through. And then this section needed cutting. That's not too bad. And then this section, I fed it through underneath. It sticks up a little bit, but it's not bad, is it? So that just comes through there, tuck that underneath. And yeah, pretty stoked with that. So not too bad a job. Go and get one of those gravity struts.